All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's multiple mediums to enjoy this information. In fact, a couple of people on Spotify have told me the sound quality is better there. Can you believe that? Yeah, so Spotify.com, you can find me there. My FX Buddies, they have video and audio. Um, all the other places, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, RSS.com, Rumble, anywhere that I upload, it's under my FX Buddies. That's how you could find me. But, of course, the best place to go is the blog. And the blog is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And I know that's a lot to type in. So wherever you are taking this information in, look for a button that says something like info, intro, description, more, something like that. If you click on that, another box opens and there's a link directly to the blog. And this time there's a video. I'm going to have two videos and two articles that I'm not posting, but the links will be down at the bottom, like how I do sometimes. Just some things that are interesting. Okay, so it is March 20th. It's been 2 days, and of course, there's all this news, but it's really like the same news. So I am going to keep this to 30 minutes like I do. There's a lot of articles on the blog today, but I'm not going to cover them all. But mostly, we're still in the same situation. We're waiting for the oil. I mean, we don't know what we're waiting for, right? But as you can see here, the title headline is Oil Exports from Kurdistan Region Set to Resume Next Week. Confirms Iraqi parliament official. And actually, this guy, another Halbousi, you see that? He's he's on the Parliamentary Oil and Something Committee. So he's not just a member of Parliament. He's here, Iraqi Parliament's Oil and Gas Committee. So, maybe he knows something the other people don't know. Um, there's still, so there's no ceasefires anymore, right? Except maybe in Lebanon? Maybe in Lebanon. But, yeah, so that's up in the air. We're still looking for an answer to that. And I could have sworn I read somewhere where our administration is giving around 2 months. There's a 2 month mm, gap. I don't want to say not a break, but whatever. And so I can't find that. I tried to go back and find that. But then I came across an interview of this guy who's supposed to be American, but he speaks very good um, Arabic, and he mentions the 2 months also. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a summary on what that is, so we'll get into it. So yeah, this is there was a meeting yesterday. Oh no, Wednesday. Oh wait, was yesterday Wednesday? Yes, it was because today's Thursday. Yes, so there was a meeting Wednesday, and then he came out today in a press conference and said there was recent discussion. We agreed on some things like here, export routes through the port are well underway. Hmm. So maybe that's new information. I don't know. But yeah, so it seems they're still got some things they're working out, and that's good. And then they're going to meet again next week. All right. So then let me just show you this lady. She is She's United States. Tammy Bruce. That's her name. Tammy Bruce. You see the title of this. U.S. pushes to resume oil exports from Iraqi Kurdistan. So we're involved. Iraq, Kurdistan, everything's involved. Just things aren't moving as fast as we want them to. All right. Okay. So there's that. I thought this was interesting. So this is news from the 19th, March 19th. A financial expert advises Iraqis to buy gold, and gold's been over $3,000 an ounce, and he's saying it's going to go to 3,200 before the end of the year. So he's like, you could make some money, buy it now, while it was at the time of his article, I guess, 3,039, but we know it's gone over 3,050. So yeah, is our government telling us to go buy gold? No, but okay. So the Central Bank of Iraq lists the reasons for the decline in the foreign exchange reserves. Well, I really don't care about this because it was the third quarter of 2024, and they've already replenished whatever they used, they replenished it, right? But I do like that they're being transparent with the people, because who are these articles really for? The citizens, right? And here they're talking about a economic concept. It is worth noting that the internal monetary sterilization policy involves the central bank selling or buying financial assets in foreign currency with the aim of avoiding impacting the monetary base and limiting the effects of inflation resulting from cash flows. So see, that's education. I mean, there's people here in America who don't know about that. And why would you if you weren't an economist? If you never took a finance class or a banking class, why would you know that? And again, I apologize for this setup. I still have not gotten new earbuds. Hopefully, I'll get them tomorrow. All right. So here, Mohammed Saleh, of course, the Prime Minister's advisor, calls for encouraging investments and improving the business environment in Iraq. Yeah, so we know what they need to do, right? Okay, here's another person, Nabil Marsumi. He's an economist. He sets a date for the 2025 budget tables to reach Parliament, but he doesn't really have a place. He's not in the government. How does he know that? And then he even says Parliament will certainly ratify these schedules next May. How does he know? How can he say anything is certain? Right? But anyway, so it says the budget schedules will be submitted to the House of Representatives in the coming days. We certainly hope so. Here is, I just thought this was interesting. A Spanish fashion chain to open their first store in Iraq. They don't know which one, but I'm familiar with Zara, but these other ones I never heard of. But I'm like, everything that's going on in their world, a fashion company, a fashion store is going to open there. But Spain is also trying to bring some energy to them as well. But I thought that was interesting. Okay, so here, this was good, maybe even an obvious result of the tightening. But here's the title here. Is the Kurdistan region turning into a money exchange for money smuggled to neighboring countries? So basically, even though they admit right here, all banks and money transfer companies in the region are currently under the control of the CBI and linked to the electronic platform, so smuggling from the region is impossible. But yet they're still asking the question. So somehow there must be a way, and they're thinking, okay, there's so much focus on Rafidan Bank and the federal part of Iraq, which is Baghdad. Now, perhaps they're smuggling through Kurdistan. And you see that phrase right there, maximum pressure. Yeah. This is not good news for some people. And this is the Parliamentary Finance Committee, and they announced on Wednesday that budget tables will not include job grades, but they're supposed to. They're supposed to have. This is the budget that's supposed to have all the investments, all the projects, all the new jobs. It's supposed to have everything. And if they're already saying they're not going to have the job grades, what else is it not going to have? So hopefully that's wrong. Here's a guy, the spokesman for the Iranian oil and gas and petrochemical and blah, blah, blah. He's saying Washington will be forced to grant Iraq a new gas waiver during the summer because they're doing all these things. They signed that contract with Algeria. Siemens is announcing something. General Electric just completed 30, I think, transformers. But they're saying even with all these things that are happening rather quickly, they don't think they'll have enough. And, the high temperatures are quickly approaching. He's betting they won't have enough to replace what Iran supplies, and they'll end up doing a waiver. But Fawad Hussein says something different. So I thought isn't this title interesting? Iraq forms economic workshop to study dealing with the new administration, right? So this is a more recent committee that was formed, the Ministerial Economic Council, and it has, you can see here, everyone who's there. It has someone from like all the important ministries, the CBI, the finance ministry. So it's really important. And among other things, they talked about banning juice and soft drinks and pastries for 6 more months. So yeah, they said we need to figure out how we're going to make mechanisms for dealing with the new U.S. administration, taking into account the national interest and within the framework of shared interests, particularly with regard to the strategic framework agreement between Iraq and the U.S. of A. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, look here. Sadar visits Sadani. So this is Sadar here. And there's a video. Ooh, uh-oh. What happened? I didn't mean for that to happen. Oh no. How can I fix that? Oh, jeez. Okay, let me pause. All right, I don't know what I did, but it's fixed now. But there's a video. So look, Twitter now, or X, I know it's X, they will let you embed videos. At least I didn't know you could do that before. So you'll see the video, which is on X, right? But I think if you just tap it once, you could watch it here. But if you tap it twice, I think it's going to take you to X. So just so you can see the hurriedness and scurrying that is around him. Okay, there's my one commercial. Buy me a copy. Thank you to those of you who have and those who will. Okay, so these are articles for today. They were really excited about this. Rashid Bank announces the launch of electronic loans. So I think this is like a trial program because it's only for 4 groups of people. It's not for everyone. So if you want to read that, and it's just 2 sentences. You see that little tiny article? 2 sentences. But it was many places, right? All right. Looming monetary problems, delays in submitting budget schedules to exacerbate Iraq's financial crisis. But wait, I thought there was no crisis. I thought there was no liquidity issues. Everything was fine. Yeah. So this is a member of parliament. So he's probably, no. Matter of fact, parliamentary legal committee member. Okay. So not just a member of parliament, he's on the legal committee also. But he might just be making noise, right? Because they are frustrated. Some of them seem to be frustrated. It's been 3 months. They're still waiting. They can't move forward until they get the budget schedules. And yeah, but he does say that the delays are causing problems. He points out the government is legally obligated to adhere to the constitutional deadlines. But yeah, he acknowledges the first delay was that right there, paragraph 12 of them doing that. There's the financial management law. So he's not just griping, he's giving actual reasons why he's saying what he's saying. Okay? This was an interesting article. Ramadan Bank development. And it's just a list of things. So I'm wondering if they're about to announce that, because remember they've been working on Ramadan Bank to get it so it won't get sanctions, right? We've been threatening to put sanctions on Ramadan Bank, and they're like, no, there's no sanctions on Ramadan Bank. So it looks like maybe this is the report, and maybe soon they're going to announce that there are no sanctions and they can go forward as a bank that can handle dollars again. I don't know, but if you'd like to read that, you certainly can. It's there. All right, here's another. This is not the Maliki that's the popular one. It's this person right here, Raid, I don't know. The dollar's rise confirms the government's failure to control the exchange rate. So they just have to complain because the rate has been pretty steady in the parallel market. It's been about 1460 to 1490. So 1460 dinars to 1490 dinars. It's been pretty steady. So I know what they want, we want to get rid of the parallel market, but in time. Steps, progress, and in time, right? Here's some, this is about Kurdistan. You can, could read that if you want. Now this I do think is interesting. This also is Kurdistan, but it's the minister of it's their minister of finance and economy. He held a meeting with the bank heads, the Kurdish bank heads, and told them banks should not create obstacles for citizens. And he even said if you're found creating obstacles, you'll be persecuted to the fullness of the law. So what I like about that is that they're probably trying to get on board and be equal, because remember Sudani said he wants all the banks in the country the same level of financial inclusion, modern technology, everything by July 1st. So this is proof that the Kurdish banks are trying to get on board with that program, and that can only be a good thing, right? For the citizens, not so much for what we're waiting for, but it's good for the citizens and good for the country. All right, here's an article about Article 140. It's a very good article. It's a comprehensive article. See, they go back history, 20 years. It talks about who it covers, why it originated, and mostly, sorry about that. They're saying, you keep like passing it over. You, right here. It's like the Article 140 has become almost a dead article due to political neglect and lack of commitment to the Iraqi constitution. So that's not good, but usually when they put articles out about Article 140, it's usually around the time we're expecting a rate change. So I'm always happy to see, always happy to see them. But I don't, in light of all the stuff that's going on with the H people and the original two countries with the aggressive maneuver conflict, I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon. But all right. So, finance in Britain at the forefront. A government advisor reveals the map of international investments in Iraq. So, there's his name. All right. And he's talking. But I just like that they're not giving up. The countries are not giving up. They still want to invest. They just need Iraq to get themselves together. Okay, let's see. We can skip this. This is something we know they need, though. Final account saga threatens 2025 budget schedules. In here, it says only the 2023 is complete. So you can read that if you'd like. Okay, look at this. It says exclusive, but it's not because I saw this also on X. But here's this guy, Kaani. He is the Quds Force commander. And he went to Baghdad for high-level talks. And he's Iranian. Sorry if you don't know what the Quds Force is. It's like Iran's army. And he's the commander. He made an unannounced visit to Baghdad for high-level discussions. That's the four-legged roommate. With Iraqi political and military leaders, a senior source told the news. And look who he went to meet with. Hold on. All right. He went to meet with the Iranian-backed Iraqi politicians. The coordination framework. So they're not even hiding it. But I also think that it's good when he goes to meet. Okay, so here, look at this. Kaani's visit comes amid growing U.S. pressure on Baghdad. Sources revealed. He probably had communication with Mr. Hegseth. But even if he didn't, this is what they do. So we know Sudani spoke with Hegseth. So Sudani tells the framework what was said or what portion of that call can be shared with them, right? So he comes over to get the information that he can get, and then he goes back to Iran and shares that information. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot and it seems crazy in this day and age, but that's what they have to do. And I'm going to show you something. Matter of fact, let's go there now. Hopefully it's right. Yes. Okay, so this is a video, but the video's in Arabic. Okay. Yeah, I closed it, but I'll put it. You know how I do? I put things at the bottom. If you want to see it. But here, Director of U.S. Middle East Coalition, Tom Harb. The U.S. is pressuring Iran by targeting the H people, right? H militias arsenal. Okay, so skip all this other stuff. I mean, you could read it. It's interesting, at least in my opinion. But see this here? This message is clear. Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. Why didn't he give them 2 months to reach a solution? So there's the 2 months, he being, our new president. But to show you that they use other countries here. In the Middle East, Mr. whatever however you say that name right there, Mr. whatever, he is the one who gave the message to the UAE to deliver it to the Iranians. So I feel because of the hacking, Ice Cream Land hack stuff, China hacks, everyone hacks, right? So nowadays they have to actually carry these letters by hand. And I was joking with some people earlier. I said they probably even have those wax seals. Remember back in the day? So if that seal is broken, then you know someone opened it before they should have. So I'll put that little what is this? Transcript. That'll be at the bottom of the blog if you want to see that. Let's see what else. So there's a lot of news today about the digital transformation, but there's nothing new. There's just more of an emphasis on this data center. But I wanted this picture. Look at this guy right here. Look how he's looking at him. And I know it's just a snapshot and it's just one picture in time, but it cracks me up every time I look at it. It makes me laugh. But anyway, so let's see. It's about the financial technology here. The central bank possesses advanced infrastructure. Does it now? The new bank building houses a sophisticated data center, and we are working to establish a data center that will represent a successful foundation for digital transformation. Let me repeat that. We are working to establish a data center that will represent a successful foundation for digital transformation. So that's about it. All the other news in these articles is pretty much we're working on the digital currency. We're working on digitizing. Here's another article, just a different title. And actually, instead of Aliyah Locke talking, it's Mohammed Saleh, but pretty much has the exact same information. Oh, that's my phone. Yeah. Digital currency differs from paper currency only in terms of improved transaction speed and system quality, which reduces costs and provides greater control over payment flows. But we know that is not the truth, right? Yeah, greater control over you and your money, what you spend it on. And hopefully they'll know that. All right, that's my phone again. So this one may have new information, but not, here's the last paragraph. He pointed out that the exchange rate system in Iraq for more than 6 decades has been based on pegging the dinar to the US dollar, stressing that the transition to the digital dinar will not affect the value of transactions or financial transfers. So I think they're still going to be pegged to the dollar, right? And here again is another one. Yeah, so I just have those there so you can see that is definitely the message they wanted out today. Citizen education, all the way from Aliyah Locke and Mohammed Saleh, both saying the same things, just a little bit of different ways. Okay, now the other things. Okay, so I think I told you guys about some BMWs. Oh shoot, it went away. Doggone it. Oh well. I had it. I had the video of the BMWs, but it's gone. Anyway, all right. So let me show you the other thing that was pretty neat. Oh, look at this. This is MSN.com. And look what they're talking about. Iraq Central Bank. Iraq ditches dollar in digital dinar bid to end the parallel market. But this was 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. But you see, it's MSN, and it's not MSN Arabic or MSN Middle East. It's MSM.com talking about Iraq ditching the digital dollar. I thought that was unusual, right? Okay, and then this, Istana AI. Istana, I don't know. And I've read this a few times and I'm still not exactly sure what this is. But it's an artificial intelligence company. They've secured a $1.7 million contract for video analytics in Iraq's Baghdad Safe City project. But I don't think this is a video game. Because it kind of looks like The Sims. Remember that video game, The Sims? Okay, yeah, okay, we're at 30 minutes, so this is it. Um, but then you see, it looks like they're going to be able to zero in. Sorry, my phone's really going off. Um, it looks like this is real time, and they're going to be able to zero in on people if they want, just to see what they're doing. Isn't that scary? But there's an article, so I'm not going to post this article, but I'm going to post the link to the article down at the very bottom. I'm going to post the link to the MSN.com article down at the bottom on the blog. And yeah, so that's it. There was a lot. This is a jam-packed blog, and it had been 2 days and I didn't want to go another day without posting because who knows, tomorrow might be another busy day. And yeah, so thank you as always for tuning in. Um, Again, just trying to help people stay in, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And if there's a follow, subscribe, like, join, share, all of that good stuff. If there's a button like that wherever you are, click that, activate that, because I don't post regularly. And if technology works as it's supposed to, when I do post, you will be notified. And then you can go check it out. And RSS.com, I did figure out they don't like really short. So when I do those special edition ones and they're like less than 10 minutes, I won't be able to post those there. You won't be able to get a transcript. But if it's a full length blog post, the I can put the whole thing on RSS.com and then you could get a transcript that helps people to understand me better. And what else? I also, if you didn't notice, I found a way to here's my Cash App. And it's the thingy with the phone. What is that? The QR code. If you'd like to. Just if you'd like to. Some people wanted it to be made more prevalent. So there it is. All right. That is it. Thank you for watching, listening. I appreciate you. Thank you, new subscribers on all platforms. Thank you for the good, constructive, edifying comments. And yeah, so enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame it is for you. And until next time.